And we are live.
Akarja, today we are coming to you from the grounds of Holy Cross Church, the Houben Centre in Belfast, a scene where once young children had to go to school and be harassed just because of they were Catholics in an area in which a great number of Protestants lived. Today, we are here, the Ancient Order of Hibernians, since its foundation in 1836, as one of its primary goals and constitutional purposes was freedom for all Ireland. Began that at a time when it was hard to foresee that any part of Ireland would be free. Now we continue as 6 counties remained under British rule. Today we are here to award over $150,000 in grants to groups working for freedom for all Ireland in various ways. You will hear people across the country from the representatives of each of those groups. They will tell you about the work that they do. They'll tell you how AOH and LAOH support helps them to continue with that work. And it's part of the Freedom for All Ireland initiative that we have, together that with our political action, together with our educational efforts, together with having 44 people on a tour here today who are going across the north on a fact-finding mission so they can go back and publicize the conditions that they see and generate more support, more awareness in the future. We're going to begin with one of the groups that we work with on a constant basis. The AOH has been a leading factor in America for legacy justice. And one of the groups, the preeminent group that helps us to perform that role, is Relatives for Justice with its CEO, Mark Thompson.
Goramila Moigav, Gakdina, Falshagaji, and Melverstia. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to Belfast. It's great to see so many familiar faces and so many new faces. What does the Freedom for All Ireland Christmas appeal mean to us, but more importantly, to families? I'll just give you a little example, just in terms of some reports. We get resources from you that enables us to do lobbying and campaigning work that we're not normally funded to do. And we're in North Belfast, so it took a short sample of reports. Thomas Tucker Donaghy and Margaret McArlane, a report that's just going to be published quite soon into their murders in the 1970s. We worked with those families and we produced a report that shows about state murder and collusion. The murder by the British Army of Johnny Copeland here in the 1970s, whereby it was proved that he was murdered unlawfully. The murder of Joseph McChrystal, again in North Belfast, by loyalist paramilitaries in collusion with the British state. The murder of Thomas Burns by the British Army just yards away here in the Old Park area, in terms shot unlawfully and killed. The killing of a young family, Joan Dennett and Brigitte Dempsey, all 3 of them murdered in a loyalist attack in their home, set on fire in the north of the city in the New Lodge area. Gerard O'Hara, a young lad whose family were targeted by RUC Special Branch collusion in terms with loyalist paramilitaries and killed in his home in North Belfast, North Queen Street. And the most recent report that we did into Patrick Quayle, a man killed and ascribed to loyalist paramilitaries being responsible for his murder, and we found out through evidence that we got that it was British soldiers off duty that wanted to kill a Catholic. So we set the record straight. The local MP launched this report with a family and put up a memorial recently. That local MP is John Finucane. And last but not least, a report that we did a number of years ago with the help of the AOH into, the Finucane killing in terms of the campaign in America. So if you look at all of those reports, on the back of them, it gives recognition to the LAOH and the AOH and to the Christmas appeal for all of your support. So everything that you give to us, every resource you give, enables us to do this for families, and it means so very, very much. We've done reports that people killed throughout County Derry, Tyrone, Armagh, Fermanagh, right through. That's just a sample of around 100 reports that we have done, and we've published about 60 of them. So your support is vital. What's more important is Ireland's cause is your cause. The cause of Irish people and oppressed people, the people that went and were forced and are the descendants of immigrants that went on famine ships and survived it and got there, have retained the stories and traditions and culture that the AOH and LAOH preserve to this day. And you are our people. As you heard from Tom Hartley, you're not our cousins or brothers and sisters. You are us. We are together. So keep Ireland's cause at the top of the agenda in America. It's the reason why the Irish government moved on legacy. It's the reason why they brought the interstate case. Keep raising these issues. Keep doing what you're doing. We are winning this battle. Gora Míle Maith.
We're going to stay in Belfast. We're going to go to the group that keeps the graves of great Irish patriots in good condition so that their families can visit and they're in a position where they're being honored. And the chairman of that group, he's actually, when I was training to become a press officer, asked to send to Belfast. The person they sent me to was this man. He did well, I don't know how good a job he did training me, but he does a great job with Belfast National Graves. Joe Austin.
I refuse to take the blame for Martin Galvin. He's a homegrown monster. Welcome home, brothers and sisters, new faces and old faces. My name is Joe Austin. I'm responsible with others for the upkeep of Milltown Cemetery, or Arlington. That's what it is. But it looks after the graves of 300 men and women who have died in the struggle for Irish freedom. We could not do it without you. You are the people that put petrol into the engine, that keep it going. So for all the work that you've done, for all the work that you're going to do, don't rest on your laurels. For next year's work as well, Gora Míle Maith.
Next, we're going to go remotely to County Tyrone, an organization noted for its work with the many former political prisoners in Tyrone, Alu and Frankie Quinn.
Honest Pataskev, Gora Míle Maith, Tamayan Sasta, a bit of shot in you. Thanks very much. It's great to see you all again. And I would like to thank you for your donation to ALU. The ALU program is a program that looks after ex-POWs and their families here in Tyrone, Fermanagh, North Monaghan, and even stretches into North Armagh. And the contribution that the IOH and the LIOH give to ALU is significant and very grateful. We are very grateful for it. This allows us to help people suffering from PTSD, mental health issues. Also helps us get people driving lessons, for example, young members of families that wouldn't have any other economic circumstances to pursue their dreams as lorry drivers, educational structures, counselling, all that type of stuff is what the finances that the LOH and the IOH provide to us is used for. And it's great to see you back. We look forward to talking to you all in the future. I also look forward to meeting the LOH in Derry in the museum in the next few weeks. So Gora Míle Maith again, and Chucky Arla, comrades. Thanks very much.
From Tyrone, we go to Derry, the Martin McGuinness Foundation, represented by Paul Kavanagh.
First of all, let me give you a warm welcome to Belfast. It's my home city, but I'm a resident in Derry. So I want to extend a really sincere thank you to the Ancient Order of Hibernians for your generous donation to the Martin McGuinness Peace Foundation. Your support over the last number of years is not simply a financial contribution. It's an investment in a legacy, and it's an investment in the future. A legacy built by Martin McGuinness, a man who worked tirelessly to advance peace, reconciliation, and Irish reunification. A man who deeply believed that the future could be better, and it was within our grasp to build it. The work of the foundation, with your support, seeks to carry that vision forward in a way that's meaningful, practical, and rooted in community. Through the Gasyard Wall Féile, we have created a space for open dialogue across all sectors and all communities about what a new Ireland would look like. Every year we hold a Gaelic Blitz competition covering all GAA codes. It is designed to foster in our young people that love of their culture and tradition. Every year there's hundreds and hundreds of young people have taken part in it. And it's now become so successful, we're now having to run over 2 days instead of one. The foundation also runs a bursary scheme to help young people access education and employment. opening doors and creating opportunities that will last a lifetime. Our young people have a role to play in shaping that new Ireland. All this work matters. It matters because Martin's life work, building peace, fostering understanding, and advancing the cause of Irish unity in a way that is inclusive, respectful, and forward-looking. Your support as the Ancient Order of Hibernians strengthens that work. It helps us reach more young people, create more opportunities, and continue building the kind of Irish unity of the future we all believe in so deeply. So today, I want to say very simply, thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your solidarity. And thank you for walking with us on this journey as we head towards Irish reunification. Gora mille míle.
From Derry, we go to Down to the museum that's dedicated to Ireland's patron saint, St. Patrick, right along the side where he is buried, along with two of other Ireland's great saints, Bridget and Colin Kill. We have from the Tim Campbell from the St. Patrick Centre.
Thank you, Martin. Fellow Hibernians, brothers and sisters, so good to have you here back home with us in this part of Ireland. My name's Tim. I run the St. Patrick Centre. It's the only exhibition in the world about St. Patrick. And the Freedom for All Ireland Christmas Appeal means so much to us. As a small charity, every year we think we're doing a wee bit better, and every year the costs continue to grow, which make it very difficult for us. But through you and through your generosity from all over America, we are able to facilitate our education program, bring young people together, and learn about the spirit of St. Patrick. We have been doing this for 25 years. People remind me that I'm a quarter of a century at this, but we're thinking of a bigger anniversary, which is the 1600th anniversary of Patrick coming to Ireland in 2032. So we're going to be looking forward to that, and we hope that through Patrick we can continue to build peace and we can bring people together. He was someone who was a migrant, someone who was trafficked, someone who had a real interest in women's issues, bringing lots of women to the church. So he is, although he's the start of our history, he is someone who can bring us all together and we can move forward in his name. So you're helping us to do that. We really appreciate it. Thank you, and God bless you.
Next, we're going to go back to Belfast to one of the iconic campaigns. People who from August of 1971 fought for decades for justice. And they were so effective that the Queen's speech had to announce a new bill to shut down other inquests or other fights for justice like theirs. And they're still going, led by John Taggart, the Ballymurphy Massacre campaign.
Thank you, Martin, for your kind words. I'm speaking today on behalf of the Ballymurphy Massacre families whose loved ones, 11 unarmed civilians, were murdered by the notorious parachute regiment over 3 days in August 1971. We are now on the right side of history, with the findings of our inquest correcting history. Justice Siobhan Keegan saw through the power of lies and declared all our loved ones entirely innocent. From the start of our campaign, Irish Americans, the LAOH, the AOH have walked side by side with us. Your generosity was shown when we would travel to New York in 2010, 2011, where we were successful lobbying for a congressional hearing, staying with our friends, Peter Gazelle and his late wife, Sharon. But there was many people who were involved supporting us that time from traveling all over America, including Leo Wing, who was our chauffeur for the week. But the support throughout our inquest continued right up till present day. Our campaign group has much work still to do. We're busy supporting other victims, including our neighbours in the Spring Hill West Rock Massacre, as they wait their verdict into the death of five civilians. Exactly 11 months till the day, and another piece would have been murdered. And a few hundred yards where my father was murdered. During the week, we had a meeting with our legal team pursuing a civil case against the PSNI and the MOD, we're still pursuing those responsible for the murders of our loved ones and will not desist until we have them in court. But right now, we are campaigning with other victims opposing the ICRIR. Every victim has the right for truth and justice. Victims will not get the truth from that mechanism. We are proof that the legal system has worked, and inquests and the granting of opening of new inquests should happen. Any outstanding to be reinstated immediately. We don't trust the British government, never will, and we are keeping a careful eye on what they bring forward next. No doubt there'll be more concessions to the murdering veterans. We find ways of remembering our loved ones and keeping their memory alive and highlighting the atrocities perpetrated by the community, by state forces. We do that continuous and day by day and week by week. We thank you for your support and ask to keep the pressure on the British and the Irish governments to keep victims front and centre of any legacy process that they bring forward. Thank you.
Staying in Belfast for a cross-community group that works for what we believe towards freedom for all Ireland by building bridges beyond boxing, and that's headed by Joe Lowe.
Again, I've been thrown in the deep end, and not normally the one for doing the public speaking part of it here, but funny enough, it feels a wee bit easier this year because when I look around the room, I'm so familiar with the amount of people that are here, and it's great to see some old friends there. Dolores, infamous Kathleen there, who it isn't the same without you, Kathleen, sort of, and all the rest of AOH. Our program is 10 years old now. It's unbelievable that we've had over 150 kids here from started out as a cross community thing within, and still is within Belfast, and it's now growing. We're taking some kids from the south, and it actually paints a picture of what a United Ireland I think is going to look like. If you look at our program, this year we're going out twice. We're dealing with 5 cities in America. We're dealing with Boston, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Detroit, and we're for the first time this year we're taking teams out to Louisville, home of Muhammad Ali. So look, it's been a great year, and it just doesn't work without your support. And I can't thank all you guys enough there for the efforts that you go to raise $150,000. It's incredible there, and that you just keep this interest in all the projects that are going on here in Ireland. We really appreciate it. We lost one of our colleagues this year, a 24-year-old lad, Paul Pollock. I think it's poignant that I mention this, and I appreciate the messages of sympathy and the flowers and stuff that came from the AOH and people, because I feel as though we're all part of the one big family. Anyway, Gormay, thank you very much.
Next from Ardoine, we're in one of the hardest hit areas during the Troubles. And we became aware of this group when a young person, 15, was coming to the United States on a trip and was not originally allowed a visa to come because his father had been engaged in a struggle which had ended years before with the Good Friday Agreement. We were happy to be able to do something to help that young man to get to Washington, to get through most of his trip. We're happy now to support that group, all the work that they do, the Ardoine Youth Club.
Hello, I'm just here to give the utmost thanks to the AOH for your continued support and generosity towards our youth club and the rest of the young people of Ardoine. At the moment, we're in sort of a crisis with youth services. Money, funding, it's very low, and personally I believe that our young people are being failed. But with this support, it's not just financial support, it actually goes a long way. Us young people feel cared and looked out for, and in February alone we were able to take 20 young people to the trip to the States for 2 weeks. We went to New York, DC and Florida, and we work with organizations that are similar to us, and the work was amazing. And I'll personally tell you, from being there and being with all the young people, it made a massive, massive change. And I just can't say thank you enough. You definitely aren't feeling us young people, and just strive to do better and do more for them. So again, thank you very much, and I really appreciate you looking out for us, and especially young people of Ardoine. Thank you.
So I said the AOH has supported Freedom for All Ireland since 1836, since its founding. And one of the groups that we're proud to and privileged to work with right now to support that aim, to achieve that aim, is Ireland's future and one of its great advocates, Andre Murphy.
Thank you so much, Martin. And I want to acknowledge the passing of Elliot Engel, that immense figure for Irish freedom and for many causes of the Irish community in the United States. And his passing we have to mark today as well. And I want to pay tribute to all the other groups that are here that really give us a sense of what we're trying to do with Ireland's future, where we are trying to build a new, inclusive, rights-based Ireland where we are all participants and we repair the harms of the past. If you didn't mind indulging me just for one moment, and I want you to think about how it might be in a number of years' time, where you're all back with your families and you're on streets here or streets with your families down the south, where many of your heritage come from and you're regular visitors to, and you are advocating for a yes vote in a border poll because you have been part, whether in Indiana or New York or Columbus or in Washington or Boston, you've been part of being the persuaders for the border poll, for the planning for the border poll, for the constitutional conventions that need to happen on this island, and that which Irish America will absolutely be part of. And you will be advocates for that yes vote with the absolute authority, because you've been part of the persuasion, part of the planning for this border poll, and we need you. We need you to do this now. When you meet consul generals, when you meet the different embassies, talk to the Irish government, say we need to plan and be part of that, because you will be part of building that united Ireland, that free Ireland that we all so desperately need for the young people that we've just heard about. Gura míle míle maith.
Next, we're going to go remotely again to the group in County Tyrone, which takes care of the graves and memorials of so many of the great patriots who died in that county during the struggle, to Tyrone National Graves.
I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today on behalf of Tyrone National Graves Association. My name is Kiva Donaghy, Kiva Lynch, and I am the Secretary of Tyrone National Graves Association. Tyrone National Graves is an independent and voluntary organisation which is dedicated to ensuring the memory of our patriot dead who gave their lives for Irish freedom is not forgotten. Our work involves maintaining the graves and monuments of these heroes. County Tyrone suffered massively at the hands of the British oppressor, and as a result of the latest campaign in the north, there are over 50 graves to look after. And in addition to this, we look after the graves of men who gave their lives in previous campaigns, and some of these graves are over 100 years old, which brings its own challenges in itself. I would like to thank the AOH and the LAOH for their continuing support throughout the years. Your financial support enables us to carry out our vital work. As an organisation, we rely heavily on voluntary donations and chapel gate collections. Our membership is open to anybody, no matter age or political affiliation, but they must adhere to our rules and principles of our long-standing constitution. And currently, our membership has an age range of 18 right through to 90, and everybody has their own part to play. We in Tyrone National Graves Association have a long-standing relationship with America. One of our committee members recently completed research for the upcoming centenary of Tyrone National Graves and the Garden of Remembrance in Carrickmore. A book called Red Bricks and Green Bushes is the story of the County Tyrone Society in New York. It has shed light on how the erection of the garden was made possible. This society worked alongside the local people of Tyrone to raise money and secure ground to build our garden of remembrance we now have today. Thank you very much again for your generosity and your kindness over the years. Thank you.
In 1978, the Ancient Order of Hibernians had a national convention in Killarney that I was a very young man, was privileged to attend. And at that convention, there was a delegation there. Lily Fitzsimmons, who became a counselor, was one of the people there. And they made a plea for the AOH to establish a Freedom for All Ireland Fund. And after they spoke, a vote was taken and a fund was established, this fund that we now have. And it was decided that all money at that point, during the Troubles, would go to Ancum and Cara, the parent company of Green Cross, who would raise money and distribute it in the South into prisoners in England, and to Green Cross. And at that time, we were able to help them give a donation every week to the family of each prisoner. And today, Green Cross still carries on that work, although fortunately, we don't have to support the families of political prisoners each week, but they still do and carry on in that tradition and that work, and we're privileged to support Green Cross.
Hi, I just have to apologise first. It should have been Sinead Walsh here today, but she's out of the country and she sends her apologies. So on behalf of the Green Cross, I want to thank you all for your continued support and all the support that you give throughout the years. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Again, we've heard from Ardoine. We're now going to go to another area, the Greater New Lodge Cultural Society and people representing New Lodge. He's not here. Okay, sorry. We expected to have Joe Doherty, a man who did such great work in America, that when he was in jail, we'd have demonstrations in front of the MCC and cheer and wave up, and he'd try and get to a window where he could see us. But the impact was such that they named the street in front of that jail Joe Doherty Corner. We expected to have him here. We'll try. Hopefully, he may arrive beforehand. Hope he gets your brother to get him out. No. Okay, sorry. We are next going to go to O'Neill Alsop Band. And we have two representatives of them just to show you we do cultural things and music. O'Neill Alsop Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and comrades, my name is Aidan Dougherty. I play the bass drum in the band. It is my great honour to stand before you today on behalf of the O'Neill Alsop Memorial Flute Band to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Ancient Order of Hibernians from the USA for your incredible support and generosity. Your funding has come at a vital time for our band and for our community. Based in the heart of the New Lodge, North Belfast, our band was formed in memory of two young local lads, Jim O'Neill and Robert Alsop, both proud members of Na Fianna Éireann. Their lives were tragically cut short during the difficult days of the 1970s. The O'Neill Alsop Memorial Flute Band was established to ensure their names, their spirit, and their ideals live on, not just as names on a banner, but through music, memory, and community action. In an area that continues to face social and economic hardship, our band offers young people a place of pride, purpose, and learning. We give them the opportunity to channel their republicanism positively through music, through education, and through connection to their roots. We teach them not only to play an instrument, but to understand the songs, the stories, and the history of Ireland's struggle for freedom. We attend hundreds of commemorations across Ireland and further afield, ensuring that Ireland's patriot dead are never forgotten. Through your support, we can continue this important work. We can attract new members, invest in instruments and uniforms, and ensure that the legacy of Jim O'Neill and Robert Alsop is carried forward by a new generation of young people, proud of who they are, proud of where they come from, and proud of the history they inherit. The Ancient Order of Hibernians has a long and proud tradition of supporting Irish communities, both at home and abroad. Your solidarity means the world to us. It reminds us that our history, our culture, and our struggle are shared, and that no matter the distance between us, we stand together as one. On behalf of every member of the O'Neill and Alsop Memorial Flute Band, past and present, and on behalf of the New Lodge community, thank you. Thank you for believing in us, for supporting us, and for helping us continue the important journey of remembrance, education, and music. Garamila Melga.
Our final remote entry today, or remote representative, we're going to go back to Derry and to the family, well, a representative of another one of the great iconic campaigns, which gained some measure of justice after fighting the British for decade upon decade, the Bloody Sunday families and Tony Doherty.
Trinana Wardy agus Garamila Mayagov Gilear. It's wonderful to be here to address you as part of a very colourful and powerful tapestry of political and cultural and human rights organisations, many of which we're very, very close to in terms of the work that we do. I'm the chairperson of the Bloody Sunday Trust, which is a Derry-based organisation now in its 30th year. And our task, in a sense, is to maintain a number of flagship projects, one of which you'll be visiting, I think, on Tuesday, which is the Museum of Free Derry. The Museum of Free Derry was established at a time when there were two distinct narratives on the atrocity of Bloody Sunday. One was a British one, and the other was a Derry or an Irish one. And eventually, through our own devices and putting pressure on the British government and to bring it around the second inquiry, there is now only one narrative on Bloody Sunday, and that is the people's narrative, and that's what you will see in Derry on Tuesday. The other flagship project is around the Derry model of peace and reconciliation and peace building, where we use the relative successes that we've had to inform and educate our campaigns and our struggles around Ireland and in different parts of the world. And a key element of our work is supporting the Bloody Sunday families, even over 50 years since the event of Bloody Sunday itself. And we do that in a range of ways. And last year, up until October, we supported the families to attend the trial of Soldier F, who had been charged with 2 murders and 5 attempted murders earlier in the year. And that was a very trying time for the families, a very difficult time. And Soldier F was eventually acquitted, unfortunately. But what the judge said at the trial was very, very important. He said that those that carried out the murders and the attempted murders on that day should hang their heads in shame. And that is obviously marks a time and a place in terms of that comment being practically impossible while the conflict was going on. So he was acquitted. Time is moving on, and many of the soldiers that carried out of that atrocity are now no longer with us. But the work of the trust will continue. The families will continue as a group as well. We're very thankful for the support we've received from the AOH and the LAOH over many years now, and we hope it will continue for many years more. So, Garamila Mayagov Gilear from Derry.
From cross-community groups, we're now going to a cross-county group that works in terms of promoting the heritage of the South Armagh, North Louth area. Duchess Oriel.
Thank you. Akarja, on behalf of Duchess Oriel, I want to thank all of you in America who have contributed to the Freedom of All Ireland Fund. Your kind donations are appreciated here at home. We're based in South Armagh, and although yesterday marked 28 years since the signing of the Good Friday Agreement, we still haven't got a definite date for a referendum on Irish unity. in South Armagh, Duchess Oriel, with the help of our friends in America, have been preparing in our own way to lay some building blocks of the new Ireland that we want. We have been promoting the Irish culture and language in the South Armagh area as we regain our reputation as being an area rich with legends, dance, songs and folklore. When something is under attack, it is incumbent upon us to not only protect it, but to actively encourage and support it. And that's what we do at Duchess Oriel by providing a safe space in our still fractured society to express our Irishness through our culture. With your help in America, we've been able to fund and host Gaeilge classes 4 terms last year and seen an increase in class sizes to over 40. We've also started a preschool ANOD so preschoolers can be immersed in the language. Irish dancing groups are also subsidised with age groups ranging from 4 years of age to young adults. The local history projects have been very successful, with this year exploring the effect of emigration and immigration, which is very topical at the minute. Indeed, all of you or your forefathers emigrated from here, and it wasn't easy to say the least. We heard from 4 nationalities, including American, who gave very moving accounts of how and why they had to leave their homes. With your kind donations, we were able to bring that political and historical education into the heart of South Armagh, and we thank you for that. The art of storytelling is important to enforce our identity and to maintain our local history. With your donations, through our work at Duchess Oriel and T. Cullen, we are teaching future generations to have pride in their culture, their heritage and their past. With your fundraising, the AOH and the Ladies AOH, we are providing projects that will help heal the fractured society, to provide an outlet for us to express ourselves emotionally in an honest way as we see it, through drama and culture, to keep our local history alive through stories and storytelling, and even through song and dance. Duchess Oriel is relevant, appropriate and vital in the South Armagh area, especially in today's times. Your donations and fundraising are helping us to build an Ireland that we want to thrive in, and we want you to know that we appreciate everything that you're doing, and every dollar that you raise goes directly to the project. Gora Margav.
Next, I always say no good deed goes unpunished. For the Witness Project, the person who does all the filming, makes this broadcast possible, along with all of the other things he does to achieve and witness and preserve a record of injustice and help to attain justice, Sean Murray. And we keep him here at the end so he doesn't leave it with his camera equipment.
I think Martin has said it all, but no, I just want to thank you all again. I mean, it's great to see you all here every year, and it's just a pity it's only once a year we see you. But I mean, I heard Tony saying there in the Bloody Sunday families about, you know, now it's the people's voice. The people control the narrative of Bloody Sunday. I suppose that's the overarching theme of what the Witness Project's about, is that we now control our own narrative. The days of monopoly that the media had over us, and victimizing us, marginalizing our communities, and censoring us for so many years is over, and we are controller of our own narratives. Over this past year or two, we have been bringing younger filmmakers on board, holding courses, free courses for young filmmakers. And of course, our youth are the future in telling our own stories. History is a mosaic of stories. Us Irish are very good storytellers. We took the English language and we made it better, made better storytellers in the English language than the English ever were. We've always been great storytellers, going way past the English language itself. We're still very good storytellers. We've still got great young people coming up. And now with the proliferation of digital and social media, we are game changers within the sphere of media. And we do not need the broadcaster that censored and vilified our communities for so long. We now control our own narratives. So that wouldn't, I mean, with regards to the Witness Project, that wouldn't happen only for yourselves. So I very, very much appreciate it, what you do every year. It gives us the freedom to go out and archive our own stories for future generations. So very much appreciate it, and thank you all once again.
Before I call on our host and our last grant winner, I'd like to make 3 acknowledgements. First of all, as Andre pointed out, we lost a great Irish champion, Congressman Elliot Engel. He was at one time head of the Foreign Affairs Committee. He was someone who, when he ran for office, he met somebody named Sean Mackin, who was looking to remain in the United States, one of the Irish political deportee cases. He got so involved through Sean that he visited Belfast, started to visit with people here, and after seeing the situation in Belfast and Tyrone and across the north, came back and used his congressional seat as one of our great champions in Congress. And to just show you, after he was defeated, the AOH had a major dinner honoring him because of the great work that he had done. We'll never forget him, and we're going to want to thank him, remember him. Number 2, I want to acknowledge the members of the AOH, LAOH delegation. You see 44 of them around the table. They're people who not only work throughout the year, and I appreciate and know and see their work throughout the year. I wish I could honor each one of them for that. But they come on a visit like this because they want to spend their holiday, any vacation time they have, going around the north, seeing firsthand what is going on, hearing speakers like you, like the speakers that we've heard on this program, so they can use that time when they get back to America to tell them what's going on, to say why Irish America has to do more, why the AOH, LAOH have to do more, whether it's in Congress, whether it's financially, whether it's just in terms of education. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the leadership of our national president, Sean Pender. Sean is actually out negotiating our next national convention in Nebraska. Couldn't be here for that reason, was very disturbed about it. He said, we're going to try and get through, muddle through without you, but he gives us great leadership throughout the year. He's going to be in Ireland in a few weeks. I know he's going to meet with most of you. And I told him everything I don't do, everything I'm going to let undone, I'm going to just leave for you to do. So Sean has a full schedule, just finishing up on what I'm letting him down on before he gets here. And many of you will be seeing him. So for that note, with those acknowledgements, I want to acknowledge our host and, again, a great grant recipient, somebody that we are proud to support and contribute to, Father Gary Donegan and the Peace Project, the Peace Center, the Houben Peace Center.
When I came to Holy Cross 25 years ago, a little wifey after the first Mass says, all right, I don't know what you're going to be like, but we can certainly hear you. And the only voice louder than mine is Martin Galvin's. I want to acknowledge that as well, and to be part of this. To be in the same room as many of you that are here, that have been about peace and justice and about legacy, is a genuine privilege to be in the same room as some of you. Some of the suffering, some of the things that have happened in your lives, but to be able to take on, lift the baton, and to take on that gauntlet to be peacemakers, to be people of justice. You can never have peace without justice. The two go hand in hand, and you are very much to the fore of that. So the Passionist Peace Office is very proud to be associated with you in any way, shape, or form. Thinking of the legacy, thinking even of the people, thinking, meeting Martina, thinking there of the chieftain, 9 years gone from us, thinking of Bick, being here in the past, playing, thinking big, all the various different people that have been part of our lives and all of your loved ones. And in order to make that future, what you have done as the AOH and LAOH is to provide a platform for the future. We have just recently sent out young men from both Ardoine and the Shankill, and in a project that takes over a year to run. It almost went, or stymied, as we had to find an alternative way to get them to Cape Town. But when they go out there, they experience abject poverty. They're put into the juvenile prisons, they meet the armed gangs, and they see a reality for many of us that actually colored our lives, changed our lives, and in a sense, we want a different future for them. For many in this room also, the cost of the mental cost of what it is. I think it's 16 years ago now, I was hit with water cannon rioting up the, well, I actually wasn't rioting, I was trying to prevent it, but rioting up the road, and I got hit with water cannon, I got pneumonia, and the Passionists pulled me out, and I was sent to the School of Applied Theology in Berkeley, in San Francisco, and it was there that I was diagnosed with a form of PTSD. Part of the support that you're given is that we are actually putting on a conference in our retreat center in Toblerone for people suffering from the legacy of what it mentally cost. And I'd say every single one of you in this room, it has cost, because whether it was personally or to a relative or whatever, and it's so important for that. And I want to finish by just saying to those that I've already shook the hands with or hugged or whatever, in a sense, you're so welcome. It hasn't always been within my gift to recognize great Americans. I'll tell this story against myself. Father Miles Kavanagh, my brother Passionist, who died in his 89th year just a year ago, founder of the Flax Trust, used to run the biggest black tie event in the 6 counties called the Super Bowl, and it was held in the Europa Hotel. And right round were all these 8-foot figures of all the American football teams. And he said to me, he used to call me Kid. And he said, "Say, Kid," he says, "I want you to look after this American guy." So I went over and I says, "How you doing, Gary Donegan?" He says, "Dan Rooney." I says, "How you, Dan?" And he says to me, "I'm fine." I says, "What do you do yourself, Dan?" He says, "A little bit of this, a little bit of that." And I thought, well, that narrowed that down. And I said, "Any interest in sport?" Now, for those of you who have watched Father Ted, I was Dougal personified in this one, because by the time the dinner was over, I dug my way to Australia, because I said, "Oh, you're interested in sport?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I'm quite partial to football." I said, "American football?" Geez, that's great. I said, "Any particular team?" He says, "I'm quite partial to the Steelers." I says, "Really? Do you ever go to any games?" He says, I try to be at all of them. And I said, "Geez, you used to be well connected, you know?" And I says, "The Steelers," I said, "that's Father Miles's team." "Yeah," he says, "we've been at 3 Super Bowls together." And I said, "Really?" So after the meal was over, I went over to Father Miles. I said, "Who's your wee man over there, the wee American boy?" And he says, "That's Dan Rooney." And I said, "What is he, Mickey Rooney's brother?" And he said, "No." He said, "You know the Steelers?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "He owns them." Right? So just a mile up the road up here is actually, in the peace office, is Heinzie Ward's jersey that Dan Rooney, when he became the American ambassador to Ireland, actually sent me Heinzie Ward's jersey and the ball. And I sat over in the old monastery one night on my own, wearing Heinzie Ward's jersey, watching the Steelers win. Now, that was one American I didn't recognize, I didn't acknowledge, but let me say, I acknowledge every one of you. Thank you.
Well, again, I think this is the quickest that we've finished, the shortest broadcast. All of your words, all of your talks, all of the work that you do will go across the United States to AOH members, LAOH members to see it and to be inspired to contribute, to continue to support your work by contributing next year. And again, our hope is always that someday soon we can change the AOH Constitution. We can remove that part about seeking freedom for all Ireland and rewrite it when we have freedom for all Ireland. Thank you, everybody.